Hello, hello. Um, hey everybody, welcome. Um, welcome to today's stream. Good morning, good afternoon. I think I'm live everywhere. I think I'm on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. So hello if you are in any of those. Yeah. Um, we're going to be doing um we're going to be doing a crossword today, and we just have to wait for the ad. Oh, there you go. We're gonna be doing this crossword today. If you don't know who I am, I'm Axel from Get Speaking English. And I've been doing crosswords with people. So we're gonna be doing this one. I'm a little scattered. I'm prepared, but I just got out of something. So it's been a little crazy on my end. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna be doing this crossword today. So you're more than welcome to come participate. Like I said, that I am live on Facebook, I'm live on Twitch, I am live on YouTube today, so you can play at any of those three places. Come out, help me complete this crossword. Um, and while I'm explaining how this works, I have a little bit of a question. So you're more than welcome to respond to this question while I am explaining how this works. Particularly if you have not played before. So I'm gonna take a couple minutes to explain. But yeah, if you would like to respond to this, do you know any famous old buildings? What makes them special? Put it in the chat. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Yeah, and so I'm going to, like I said, explain how this is going to work. We're going to go through, we're going to do this crossword together. I'm going to lead the conversation, let you know what question we're working on when, and I'm going to provide additional clues, definitions, pictures, things like that to hopefully help you get to the answer. And then when I see an answer in the chat, I will put it up on the board and we will complete the crossword that way. I have a couple of rules though about, just in general, about how this works. So just to begin with, no cheating, okay? So yes, we can go look up these answers online. There are even websites dedicated to having the answers to these crosswords, but we are not going to do that. We are going to try to use our brains. Hopefully I'll be able to walk it through you in a way that we'll be able to get the answer. We'll be able to figure out the answers together and do it without cheating, without using the internet. So please don't use the internet. Also, please follow the conversation, so don't rush ahead and start talking about things or throwing out answers to questions we have not talked about yet. So try to follow along. Also, if you happen to be here and you are a native English speaker, please know that I'm doing this activity for people learning English as a second language. So, we're going to be taking the time to maybe discuss alternative vocabulary, phrases, things like that comes up along the way. So please be patient as well. Don't ruin it for them. So just follow the conversation. Also, finally, please be nice to one another. So the chat is open. You can comment on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. But please be nice to one another. No fighting or anything like that. Please be kind to me as well. I know sometimes I make mistakes. I'm only human. I do not know everything. I'm also not using the internet to complete these crosswords. So sometimes I make mistakes. That happens. So let's just be nice to one another as we do this. And there's also some information specifically about this crossword that's really important to know. So to start with, a lot of these clues, a lot of the questions are about language. So I know some crosswords are filled with trivia and questions about pop culture, things like that. Luckily, a lot of these questions are about language, so we won't need to know a lot about trivia. So that's really good. It's also good to know that this is an American crossword, so a lot of the trivia and things that come up are about America, but also too that American spelling is going also American spelling is going to be used. So some examples of differences between American and British spelling include words like favor and color. So in the US, they'll spell favor with an OR or color with OR, whereas in the UK and British English will spell it with OUR. Also words like realize, modernize, commercialize, strategize. Those are all spelled with an I-Z-E in American English, whereas in British English it would use an S. Words like center, for example, are spelled with an ER in American English, whereas they're spelled with an RE in British English. So those are just some examples. There are a lot of other differences too, but American spelling will be used in this crossword unless indicated otherwise. It's also important to note that sometimes, it's a good thing to know that the question, the word, the form of the word in the question will let us know what form of the word to use in the answer. So for example, if there is a plural in the question, there will be a plural in the answer. If there is a past participle in the question, there's a past participle in the answer. So that's really helpful. I know it helps me a lot. And also, some of these answers will actually be short phrases. So there'll be phrasal verbs, for example, or short little like 3-word answers. It doesn't tell us, but hopefully I will identify. I will identify it beforehand, let you know, and we'll do it that way. Also too, some of the vocabulary will be useless to you. So there are plenty of words, plenty of phrases, not phrases, but a lot of words that I only ever use in the crossword, so you won't actually have to know them in real life. So hopefully I will point out which things are useless. I'll let you know beforehand, but just to be aware, as some of this language would be weird to use in conversation, for example. So, but hopefully I will let you know. So, hello, I think that was the question. Yeah, this is the question from my daily speaking prompt. So, if you don't know, if you're here watching, I share a daily speaking prompt. I've been sharing daily speaking prompts probably for 3 or 4 years now, but they're on Telegram, Instagram, and Facebook. And this was today's question. So you said you already responded. That's perfect. I love when people respond. I haven't had a chance to check Telegram yet or anything, so I've been super busy. But I appreciate you rating on Telegram. Yeah, Telegram is the place to put it if you would like a correction. So that's the only place I do it. So yeah, so that's amazing if you put it there. All right, so let's get into the crossword. I looked at it a bit. It's not too bad. There are some useless things in here. Some of it was tricky, but I think we'll be able to do it. So, oh, and I'm just gonna, okay. I think I'm good. I had things happening. I had things happen before this, and all my screens are messy. Okay. So we have a herring's kin. So I think we learned the other day that kin, something that is kin to something else is related to something else. So something that is kin to something is related to it. So for example, they're kind of in the same family, maybe. You could say that, you know, like a zebra is kin to a horse, for example. We might say something like that. So it's related to a horse, right? So we have a herring's kin, and a herring is a fish. But I think we're going to focus on this question, though, because I think this might be easier for us to get. We're not going to know this answer. But an antlered animal, I think we might be able to get. So, antlered animal. So we can see the word antler in here. So antlers are, if you know what an antler is, put it in the chat. I'm gonna get a picture of something with antlers. It is a body, it's a feature that a very specific group of animals have. They are four-legged animals. I'm gonna get a picture. Here are some antlers. Yeah, so deer are antlered animals. Okay, yeah, so deer are antlered animals. Yeah, so we're looking for the name of a deer. Deer is not the answer, but exactly. So deer, deer are, we're in the right sort of realm here. Okay. I think this answer is going to be the name of a male deer, because the female deer don't have antlers. So the female deer do not have antlers. But the males do. I'm just gonna get a picture here of the females so we can see. So here's a female and the little baby. Okay, yeah, so Buck is the name. Yeah, Buck is the name of a male deer. That is a good one. Yeah. So we're getting close. That's not the answer, but that is a good answer. This word is also, so the answer here is also used in the name of a specific type of party that people have before they get married. So this word is used in the name of a party that people will have before they get married. No, that helps. But yeah. You might hear people of having like a, yeah. There's like, maybe this is kind of more of an American thing, but there's like a something and doe party. Basically, doe is the name for the female deer, and then we have this other name for the male side of it. Basically, it starts with an S. I'll give you that much. So this is gonna start with an S. And it's kind of that party where, you know, men will go out, they'll go out with their friends, the groom will go out with his friends and they'll go drinking, maybe they'll go to the, I guess, the strip club and stuff like that. And there's a name for that party. So that's a stag party. So a stag is also a male antlered deer. So here we go. Here is a stag. A male antlered deer. And yeah, a stag party is when the groom goes out with his friends and they celebrate getting married, basically. So yeah, so I think this is gonna be stag. Alright. So we got stag here. And let's see here. Alright, so Pop's sister. Pop is a name for what? What is the name? Pop. Who is Pop? Pop is another name for a father, right? Or dad, right? So we're looking for a word that means our father's sister, right? So our father's sister, we can see that it starts with an A here. This is a pretty common word. Should be able to get this one. Yeah, this one's aunt. Exactly. Aunt, or some people will say aunt. I say aunt. Both of those pronunciations are acceptable, aunt or aunt. All right, so we got the pop's sister. Perfect. And let's see, what else could we do? Okay. I think we might be able to get this, maybe. So muscle quality. So muscle, you know, obviously parts of the body that get kind of, that are used for movement, right? And there is one specific, there's kind of a specific word that, we might use for talking about how much muscle mass maybe somebody has. Like this guy, for example. We can see that he has a lot of muscle, a lot of muscles, right? And there's this word that we might use to describe, you know, how how defined your muscles are, how big they are. Often this word gets used as an adjective, so with a D on the end of it. You know, I want to go to the gym to get whatever that word is. Yeah. Something D, for example. So it's kind of a similar word here. So we might know it. Trying to think of other ways to describe that. I have nothing. So this quality of how muscular you are, or how defined your muscles are, that's gonna be tone. So you'll talk about people wanting to go to the gym to get toned. So they want to, you know, work, they want to build up their muscles, so they're really defined, cut down on their body fat, right? So I think that is gonna be tone. Alright. And I think we could do this one now. This one should be pretty easy, I think. So we're looking for a clock reading. So obviously you would read a clock, right, for a specific type of information. We can see that there's OU something. Yeah, that's a new one. Yeah. Yeah, you would probably see more this word if you were really into fitness, or like really into bulking up and getting super fit and things like that. But yeah, that would be, talk about muscle tone, like how defined the muscles are. Yeah, this clock reading. So something you would look at a clock for. I think that the first answer we might think of would be time, but we can see that it doesn't fit here. But, you know, you read a clock. to get the time, right? Wants to have tone. Yeah, so this one's hour. So we would typically say you want to get toned. So get toned. That's what we would say. Or, you know, he wants to tone his muscles. Let's put tone in a sentence. I would mostly use it in this adjective form. But let's see what I was looking for an example. Here we go. Here's kind of an example. Here, after you had a baby, you lose muscle tone in your stomach, right? Or, you know, he goes to the gym every day to build muscle tone. So that's kind of how we would typically use that word. At least in a noun form. And you can see here, I've used it as a verb. So he wants to tone his muscles, or you want to tone your stomach, tone your abs, for example. That's kind of how we would use that word. Yeah, and this one's hour. So we have hour. Awesome. Let's see here. This is a trivia. I'm just gonna put it in here. And all right. And let's see what else. Spots. We'll come back to this one when we have more information, but we can see that there is an S here. See that there's an S here. I'm gonna put an S at the end here, and let's skip over to a different part of the crossword. All right, let's talk about this wall work. Wall work. So a wall, obviously, you know, part of a building, right? Could be inside or outside, for example. And a work here, we would talk about, so work here refers to a work of art. So a work of art, we could, you know, that would be a way to describe maybe a painting or a drawing or even like a sculpture or even like an artistic film or something, a work of art, we would say. So we're looking for the name. We need the name of a piece of art that is on a wall, basically. So the name of a piece of art that is on a wall. And I will give you a hint. Usually these are really big works of art. So if you think you know, I'm gonna get a picture maybe of what I'm thinking about. It's common to have them, you could have them inside, but they can be outside as well too. This one's kind of cool. One up. So really big paint pictures. Yeah, so picture, yeah, a picture, and another way that we could refer to an image or a work of art. Sort of a general way to refer to an image or usually like a painting or a drawing or photograph. I call a picture, right? But this one is kind of a specific name for sort of this style. You see this really, this painting basically on the side of this building. We're looking for the name for this one, for this big picture, basically. And obviously we can have them inside as well. Maybe if you would, here's kind of like a cool one. Oh, this one's cool. I like this one. Here's a really cool one inside as well. In somebody's looks like maybe in a cafe or something like that. This cool picture painted directly onto the wall. Starts with an M. I will give you that. Starts with an M. So these works of art, these giant works of art on the wall, these are called murals. So it's a mural. A mural is a work of art on a wall. So here we go. The mural. Just like that, mural. Yeah, so some really great murals. Are there any really great murals where you live? Because I know in some places they have very impressive works of art. Here in my current town, there are no murals on any of the walls. Oh, maybe I can think of maybe one mural. When I lived in the city, though, like I've lived in a couple cities, but my last city in particular, there were a lot of big warehouses and things, and they would commission artists to do really big murals on the side of the buildings. So that was really cool. So yeah, so let me know if there are any great murals where you are. And we're gonna look at another question. So let's do this. Was a pioneer. So was a pioneer. So we can see here that this answer is gonna be the past form of the verb, right? So be, was, were, right? No, been, was, were, yeah. So we're looking for the past form of whatever this was. Did not know so that the inside picture was called that as well. What's the difference? Picture, is it large? So the thing that makes this a mural is that this painting is done directly onto the wall. And I'm sure this looks like it could be wallpaper or something, but it's a painting that has been done directly onto the surface of the wall. So that's basically what that is. A painting that is done directly on the surface of a wall. And they can be done outside or inside as well. And they're pretty large, right? Yeah, they're typically very large. Yeah, so that's what I would describe a mural as. And it's done right on the wall. So a pioneer is kind of like the first person who does something, right? Yeah, so pioneer, like the first person who does something, basically. First person who does something before anybody else. Yeah. Yeah, so if you do something before anybody else, other people are behind you, right? So we're basically looking for a verb that means to be in front of everybody else. Basically. I'm not sure, I believe there is. I'm from Georgia. I'm from Georgia. Okay, nice. So what are the cities? They know it has a bureau. Of a Georgian dish. That's really great. That's really lovely. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, and this was going to be lead. Exactly. So, lead, we know is like the past form of lead, right? To lead, 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 and one of our irregular verbs. Yeah, so if you went first, you led everybody else, basically. And then they followed, right? All right. And let's do this one. This pub pint. Like pub. It's kind of like, it's like a bar, a type of bar where you would get an alcoholic beverage. They're kind of common in, like, you know, the UK, you know, Scotland, England, stuff like that. And you would get a pint of something. So pint is kind of a unit of measurement, but it could kind of refer to just generally as a glass of something. We use it to describe sort of just like a glass of an alcoholic beverage. Like for example, yeah, and I see in the chat. Here we go. Here is a pint of beer or ale. Yeah, also ale is a type of beer, so perfect, exactly. That the type of beer that you might drink at a bar. Pint, or people will say pint as well. Pint or pint. I say pint of beer. I guess pint of beer. Probably pint is better. Yeah, I think pint. I have a bit of an accent. Pint of beer. We say pint of beer. Pint of beer. Anyways, yes. There we go. What else here? So we're not gonna get this one. Let's see though if we can get the other ones. Yeah, we can get this one. Let's get that one. Let's do this one for standard. Standard. So something. So something standard is something normal, right? Something normal, kind of typical, right? So we're looking for a word, I guess an adjective that would describe something normal or something typical, kind of maybe something that happens regularly. Yeah, so this is going to be usual. Exactly. Usual. Perfect. So usual. All right. Not going to get this. Throughout. I think we can get this one. So we're gonna fix shoes. So fix shoes. So to fix shoes, obviously. Shoes are those things that you wear on your feet, right? Obviously. But there is one part in particular of the shoe that's very common to need to fix. That bottom portion of the shoe, right? Like, gonna get a picture. So here we can see the bottom of this picture, or not the bottom of this picture, the bottom of the shoe, this sort of rubber part. And you might take them to, like cobbler or something like that, and they might like they might fix this part of the shoe. So this verb, this is a verb, something something s something le. This verb is kind of like a combination of the name of this part of a shoe, and then we have this prefix that we would use, or prefix, that means to do again, basically. So we want the prefix. And the name of the bottom part of a shoe, basically. That's gonna be our answer. We can think of it. Do we know what the bottom part of the shoe is called? This name is also the bottom part of our foot as well, too, like that underside of the foot. I know this is my hand, but if this was my foot, it would be like this part here. I don't think I know what it's called. Yeah. Yeah, so this bottom part of the shoe, that's called a sole. So we have a sole. So the bottom part is called a sole. And our prefix, that means to do again, is just gonna be re, R-E. So for example, in words like redo, or refurbish, for example, or paint, I don't know, remake. All of these, yeah, all of this little prefix means to do again, basically. So that's gonna be our answer here. All right, put that in here. I'm gonna put this in here just because. I don't know if you how much you know about mythology and things like that, but the answer to this question is this giant sort of eagle guy. And I don't know what this comes from, like which mythology. Like maybe, but this is a rock giant bird. Put it in here. Okay. What else can we do? So we have So we have another one with again, right? So with this prefix. So I'm just gonna put that in here. So we're gonna redo something. But this question is a little tricky. So usually we think about hearing as something that we do with our ears, right? Basically to perceive sound with our ears, right? So that is kind of the typical meaning of the word to hear, right? But you would also do a hearing, right? Which is a legal term. So it's kind of a legal term here. A hearing is kind of another word for a trial. Or a court case. So I think when we're this one here is going to be tricky. This might be a new, probably going to be a new one for all of us. So you do a court case. You go through the process. And maybe you don't get the result that you want, and you would do it again, right? So I think that's what this is. This here again is basically to they mean to redo a court case. And there is a verb that they use for doing a court case. And I don't know if we're gonna know it. But yeah, we say to something a case. I don't know if we're gonna know this. But it starts with a T. Starts with a T. Starts with a T. Yeah, often this word gets kind of used in the past. Resue. Yeah, that's a good guess. That's a really good guess. But yeah, so that's not it, but that's a good guess. Yeah, you would sue somebody, you would take them to court. That is a great word. Yeah. To sue someone, basically take them to court and try to get money. Yeah, exactly. So the official definition of this word is to examine a person accused of committing a crime by asking them questions and decide if they are guilty. So here, for example, I'm just gonna put this in a sentence. You know, they are being tried for murder, for example. So they're being taken to court. They're being examined in court. So yeah, so we would try a case. So you try a case. Yeah, so a case, yeah, trial, another word for a case. And we would also say you would try someone in court. We would go through that process. Here's another kind of maybe not as good of an example, but because the security implications, the officers were tried in secret, so they went through the trial in secret, or they were taken to court in secret. So that's kind of a interesting sort of new word here. And hello, Natalia. Welcome. So great guess here. Yeah. So some of these are gonna be. This one's a tricky one. Or like, I think we're gonna get this one. Borders, Australia, a staff symbol. I think we can get this one. We can get this one. Yeah, exactly. They're being examined, basically. Yeah. So here we might be able to, yeah, basically examined in court, basically, what we would say. So, yeah. Examined in court or taken to trial, basically. So this staff symbol, this is a music reference. So this is a music reference. The staff is the thing on sheet music. The thing on sheet music that you use basically to read the music. This is like, I'm looking for an image. Second. Second. Musical notation. Gonna get a lot of irrelevant pictures. Okay, here we go. So we basically, okay, so here is a staff The staff is this thing with the 5 lines. That you write music on. Basically, the music notation. Okay, so you would write the music on the staff. We can see here, this is a clef. For example, this thing is treble clef. We have a treble clef, for example. That's something that you would write on a staff. Treble clef, and then there's bass clef as well. And then there is another thing. There are a couple other things that we would write on music. So looking for a couple other names of symbols that you would write on music. So here are some, there's a bass clef. So it's not going to be tune. So tune is basically the quality. Well, tune can be a melody. A tune is a melody or a song. You would also tune an instrument. To tune an instrument means to make to adjust the strings or whatever. So the notes are the correct pitch. To adjust the strings or adjust the instrument so the notes are the correct pitch. So tune is also sort of the sound quality. So we have one of these. We have we're looking for another name. Sort of like these different things here. I know that we have a lot of different symbols here. But you know, we have kind of trying to get some pictures. We have these guys, for example. I don't know if you know what these guys are. And then we also have here we go. Let's see. So those, yeah, so these are examples. These are rests. So this is a rest. The whole rest, half rest, if you're a music person. Here's also a rest. This 4/4, this is the time signature. We call that. And then we have these things here. Those are notes. So, notes, the symbols that represent the music, basically, like the different. So I think this one is going to be note. This word is going to be a note. Yeah. So note, we've got a rest, we have our time signature, our clef, treble clef in this case. We have the staff, the little lines, all sorts of stuff going on in music. Very hard for music. Yeah. I mostly don't. I used to do a lot of music when I was really young, so I don't really read a lot of music these days, but I remember. Ugh. All right, let's see. What else do we have here? I think we should be able to get this one. This healthful beverage, maybe. Beverage. So a beverage, something we drink, right? And we can see that we have GRE something N. New word. Something, something, something. Some sort of drink that's considered really healthy, basically. Some sort of drink that's considered pretty healthy, I would say. And I will give you a hint. It is a warm... It's like a hot beverage. A hot drink. I'm gonna get the picture. Exactly. So this one's gonna be green tea. Green tea is usually drank because it's considered to have great health properties in it. Be really good for you. What else can we do here? Let's do this borders Australia, because I think we can. Maybe we can get it. Or actually, let's get a bit more information first. Let's do this crumb carrier. So a carrier, something that carries something, right? So you know, maybe, you know, they hold it, they take it from one place to another place, something like that. And a crumb is a really small, small bit of food. So a really small, like maybe a cookie crumb, for example, or something like that. Like here are a bunch of crumbs. So here are a bunch of crumbs we can see. So we're basically looking for the name of something. We have an S here, so we know that this is going to be plural. We're basically looking for the name of something that would carry crumbs. And I'll give you a hint. This is the name of an insect. An insect that would carry crumbs. So maybe they would get into your kitchen, and then they would take crumbs, and then they carry it back to their home, basically. They're always transporting food, basically. They will take the food back. They carry the food back to the nest, basically. And they kind of walk in like little lines, kind of. I tried to get a picture. Yeah, I think these are ants. Ants would carry food. The images I'm getting are really terrible. But you know, they would get into the kitchen, maybe, or maybe you're having a picnic. And then they would take the food and they would carry it back to the ants' nest. Yeah, so I think these are gonna be ants. So ants are gonna be our crumb carriers. Naturalness, let's skip that one for now. What is? I think we can get this one though. So this one is this clue is a little deceptive, a little clever. Usually when we take turns, we're maybe doing an activity with somebody else, and then everybody, you know, one person does their thing, and then the next person does their thing, and then the next person does their thing. There's kind of a back and forth, right? So usually when we take turns, everybody does something by themselves, and then other people have their turn to do their thing by themselves. I don't know if that makes sense, but you know what it means to take turns, right? You would take turns speaking, for example, in a conversation, usually, right? Like, you usually don't talk at the same time, right? But this, yeah, this is a little deceptive because we don't mean this. So this is not what the answer is. To turn means what else? Turn also means to, like, revolve, right? Basically, right? Like the earth turns, for example. You know, the earth turns, for example, right? Or a wheel turns, right? We're kind of looking for a verb that means to turn. To go round and around and around and around and around. Usually kind of really quickly. And there's there's a toy in particular that I can think of that does this very quickly. It goes round and around and around and around and around. We're looking for this verb. That take turns, to turn around and around and around and around. So roll is kind of a different type of a turn. We would roll a ball, for example. So you would roll a ball. So it kind of goes on the floor, goes around and around. I can't find a picture. So to roll a ball. But there's a word for like this when something moves basically on an axis. Basically, this turn, like it moves around an axis. So for example, the Earth does this as well. We can see here. Yeah, we can see here that this picture here, we have the Earth, it's moving. Yeah, turning, so yeah, there's a spin. I think spin is our answer. So the Earth spins around on its axis. This is a spinning top, which also turns around a specific point. I think that's what this is gonna be. Okay, so we got that. So I think we have enough information. We might be able to guess what this is, I think. So we want something that borders Australia. So something that's next to Australia. If something borders something else, it's right next to it. Like, for example, I could say that, you know, Canada borders the United States, right? All right, so they're right next to each other. By the way, what roll mean in a circular way? So it does. So roll, but the difference between a roll and a spin is that if something rolls, it doesn't necessarily go around a fixed axis. So if something spins, you know, the Earth doesn't spin this way. I don't know if you can see my cursor, but it doesn't, you know, the South Pole doesn't flip around to where the North Pole is and things like that. Like, it only turns one way, right? It's only possible to turn it one way. So that's what a spin is. Whereas if something rolls, it can kind of just roll however it wants, right? So it does move in a circular way, but it can move in any way that it wants, right? So we wouldn't say that the Earth spins, or sorry, we wouldn't say that the Earth rolls, but we would say that the Earth spins. Yeah. Same that, you know, the difference between rolling a ball, you know, would go whatever. But if you could spin a ball on your finger, then it's only moving around one point. If that makes sense. That's kind of the difference. So yeah. So if something rolls, it does not move around one point. Something that spins only moves around one point, if that makes sense. The axis. Yeah, so something that borders, something that's next to something else. So Australia, we have what? Something, 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 new word, S, something, A, I think is what we have. Yeah, I think this one is also coral sea. And coral, like coral reef, are those basically those marine animals, right? So I'm just gonna get a picture. It's a Great Barrier Reef, right? But just so we're all on the same page. We have some coral here. Yeah, those basically those marine animals. All right. Yeah, so I think that's gonna be coral sea. I think we're gonna do this one. Got up. If you get up, you stand, right? You get up. So, got up. Got up. Could mean maybe to stand up. Could also mean to get out of bed, right? Oops. So I think we're kind of looking for a verb, obviously past form. That means to either stand up or maybe get out of bed. Sorry for doing this one. Yeah. Yeah. Something. Kind of like to rise to your feet, maybe. Yeah, I think this one's gonna be a rose. Let's put a rose in here. A rose. Perfect. There we go. Rose. Yeah, so we got that. A rose. So to arise. A rose. Arisen. It's gonna be the past participle of that one. Exactly. What else can we do here? Let's do this rowing team. Rowing team. So to row, it's a thing. It's like an activity you do with a boat, basically. With these, there's like these. Here we go. Here's kind of a picture. It's a thing that you do with a boat. You can see here we have a boat. And we have these things. These things are called what are these? This thing is called an oar. The paddle. is called an oar in a rowboat. So the paddle is called an oar. You don't use oars in a canoe, for example. You use a paddle in the canoe, so it's different. But here we have a rowboat. There's like two. You pull them. That action is rowing, or we would say to row. So we're basically, there's a name for when you have a lot of people that are all rowing together. So here, for example, here are some people rowing for like a competition, basically. So something are something something. Kind of a name for a team, sort of. Team. Team of people that might work together to do something. Usually team of workers maybe also on a ship, for example, or on an airplane as well, maybe. Something like that. I'll give a little bit of a hint. Word is going to start with a C. Word will start with a C. So C, something, something. So super close. So nobody crow. Crow is an animal. Crow is a bird. The W is correct though. So let's put the W in here. Got a W. It's gonna be a crew. A crew. So a crew, people that would work together to move a boat from one place to another. Or a crew could also be the team that works on a boat. Or a crew could be a team that works on an airplane, for example. Also, too, you could just informally refer to a team of anybody as a crew, like, you know. But yeah, basically, usually people that kind of work together. This is move like molasses. This might be an interesting word. So this is gonna be a verb. Oops, something. Uh-oh, something. Alright, there we go. So molasses is a substance. Is basically a type, it's kind of like a type of sugar. I think it actually is a type of sugar. Or at least it's a sugar product. And it's very, very thick. It's very thick and viscous. Yeah, here is a kind of a picture of molasses. Here we go. This is molasses. This kind of sort of sweet, kind of more bitter though. It runs, and it's so super, super, super sticky. It moves very slowly. All right, so if somebody ever says that you're moving like molasses, it means that you are moving very slowly, extremely slowly. It's very viscous and moves extremely slowly. Viscous as in it's very thick and sticky. And there's this kind of this verb that can Sometimes so there's another word that means to kind of move, this flow very slowly. Sometimes through sort of like a small opening or something, but it moves kind of very slowly. I'm gonna try to get a picture of something that's maybe doing this. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get a picture. Like, here, like, lava is kind of doing this. You know, it's very... We can see here that the hot magma inside, so magma is the molten rock. It's moving, it's very slowly kind of coming out of the gap, and there's kind of this verb that describes that. If something is kind of slowly seeping, slowly moving out of a small little gap like that. So this could be a new word. This might be a new word. Tricky one. Here's the official definition. To flow slowly out of something through a small opening. So through a small opening like this, or slowly produce a thick, sticky liquid. So as well. So yeah. Maybe if you get cut, blood would kind of slowly come out. This word is ooze. So this lava is oozing out of the rock, basically. So yeah, ooze. Looking for a... I don't really like these examples, but because they're all talking about blood and stuff like that. But the wound oozed with blood, so some blood was kind of coming out of it. Or sap oozed from the pine tree. So sap is that sticky substance that's in a pine tree. So maybe it's seeping, it's oozing out of the tree. This word here is going to be ooze. Okay. Yeah, this is a hard one. Hard one today. We said about a person, like, moving. Yeah, I might. Yeah, maybe ooze. Potentially. I don't know if I would use that to describe how somebody is moving. You can ease along, so that's kind of similar. Oozing is usually more to describe, like, bodily fluids or something like that, like pus or other things. Yeah, any other kind of sort of, like, liquid, sticky liquid that's kind of moving out of an area. You could say somebody is oozing with confidence, though, or something. For example, you know, he's oozing, or he's oozing, yeah, maybe with confidence, as in he has kind of a lot of it. You could potentially say that, something like that, or, you know, she oozes charm. So that we could potentially say. It's kind of like you radiating these qualities. Yeah. Water isn't... Yeah, water could potentially ooze out of something. You know, sometimes you'll put, like, the lid on a bottle and maybe some of the liquid will come out. We could say that it's oozing out of the bottle. So maybe like that. Usually something that oozes, though, is sort of thick, though. Like a little thick. Water is pretty watery, right? It's, but but like maybe like goo or oil or tar, molasses, something kind of sticky, a little bit sticky or something. Gosh, I don't know if we're gonna hit any of these. So if you happen to know what this is, the Enterprise Engineer, I know what it is. Just, I think I know what it is. The Enterprise, so Enterprise was, this is a Star Trek reference. So we want the name of the engineer of the Enterprise from Star Trek. So if you happen to know, you could also Google it, maybe. I'll probably put it in here. Or maybe we get this one here. This is the spots. So we know that there's an S on it. To spot something. So spot can mean a couple different things here, right? But we can use to spot something means to see something. All right, so to see something, maybe to notice something. And this word here kind of means, so here, something E-T-E-C, something S. This means to notice something maybe hidden or maybe partially hidden or not totally clear, maybe like maybe you read clues or you look for evidence to notice this thing. So maybe, or maybe you would discover something. That's kind of what this word means. It's kind of discover something not clear, kind of hidden. Kind of like solving a mystery, maybe. Maybe not really a mystery or something, but we would say maybe you would spot a problem, or maybe this word a problem. Something a problem. And this like the base word, this is the base word, but this word also shows up in the name of a person who works with a police force who basically solves crime. So this word is the base form. Is used is part of the word for a person who works on a police force, basically solving crime. You know, maybe they'll take all of the evidence and things like that. Sorry, person who works. Kind of like an investigator, maybe? Similar to an investigator. Maybe they solve mysteries, maybe? Yeah, so a detective is, a detective. They detect something, so they figure out the mysteries or those hidden things, right? So you would spot a problem, or you might detect a problem. We also see this word showing up in, you know, a smoke detector. So something that also detects or spots smoke. Basically. So I think this is going to be a detect. Yeah. All right. Woohoo. We're not going to know these words. Something perch is kind of a little quick, maybe a little bit rude. This word's gonna be sass. So perch talk is sass. This is a tricky one today. Let's do this lotion additive. Lotion additive. This is a thing. So a lotion is kind of like a cream almost. Maybe for medicine or beauty or something like that. Basically a cream. And here's some lotion, at least in a bottle. It's solving crime, I guess to say it's a verb. Yeah, you can say that you detect a mistake. Yeah, I detected a mistake. Like I detected there was an error, I detected there was a problem. So basically, yeah, to detect something, to notice something. Yeah, basically, yeah. Yeah, so you can say that you could detect a mistake. So here's some lotion. And an additive is something that gets added to something, right? Something that's added to something else. And so there is this plant. This is the name of a plant. This is the name of a plant that is commonly added to moisturizers or creams and things like that because it kind of soothes. And it kind of has medicinal properties. So commonly added to things. I think it has medicinal properties. Yeah. Or at least they say it's a type of succulent. So if you don't know what a succulent is, a succulent are these kind of plants that grow, like they're not leafy, they kind of hold water. So here is a succulent. Yeah, aloe. So aloe or aloe vera is that plant that often gets, here we go, this aloe vera plant. Yeah, so I think aloe gets added a lot. Let's put that in here. And what is this one? So a face feature. So a feature, something that makes a face, something that we will find on a face. Something that you find on a face, like a human face. So we're talking about a physical face. You would use this thing to smell. So we're looking for a body part that we use to smell with, basically. So that's gonna be nose. Exactly. Got nose. Maybe we can do this one. So mass has to do with weight and how much something is there. So this is a unit, this metric mass. This is a unit of measurement of weight, right? So mass is weight used in the metric system. So like a gram would be one example. And kilo, exactly. Kilo is a very common one, exactly. Which is short for kilogram, right? Awesome, perfect. All right, let's see. What else can we do here? This is a trip. I know it's trivia. We don't do trivia. We don't do trivia, but you know, maybe you know this. Red Muppet. This is from Sesame Street, I think. A Muppet is a puppet. A Muppet is a puppet. The name of this guy. We may or may not know it, but that's fine. We'll go to the next one. We can come back to it. So this is the name of this guy. Something, 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 something. So maybe you know it, maybe you won't. But a Muppet is sort of a type of puppet. Type of puppet, sort of that gets moved by the puppeteer. Yeah. So this guy is Elmo. I know, like pop culture. Ugh. All right, so this one's Elmo. We're just gonna put it in here. That's his name. But let's do this one. So a cat's sunning spot. So to sun means to lie in the sun, maybe to get warm. All right, so we want a sunny spot. Basically, this word is going to be a sunny spot. Something, 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 something. A sunny spot where a cat can lay. Yeah, where a cat can lie. The sunny spot. We were watching Tom and Jerry. Yeah. I didn't watch a lot of. I think we watched a lot of Sesame Street, but we did get it here though. But yeah, since this is an American crossword, Sesame Street is a pretty popular, super popular kids show here. I think it comes on their like public television for them or something. So you want a sunny spot where a cat can lie. Obviously, we can see there's a I and an L, because, you know, a cat could lie in a lap. I would say that's a kind of a nice place, but we want a sunny spot. It's a place where sun can have access. So a sunny spot might be a window, right? Like where the light would come through. So basically we're looking for the name. The spot is kind of along a window. And I'm just trying to get a good, like a little picture. Spot where a cat might lie. Next to the window. Here, we can see in this picture, we have this, you know, all of these windows, right? So those are sunny spots. And then we have this kind of this ledge here. A ledge that's just big enough for a cat, maybe. So I think this word is going to be whatever this ledge is called. This little ledge. You can put your little plants along there. And this person has, in this picture, they have an aloe vera plant, an aloe plant there. Anyways, this little ledge is called a sill, or a windowsill. So, sill or windowsill. That would be like, so sill for short, or windowsill. I think this is gonna be put this here. Alright. And this is a type of tree. This is a type of tree. Type of tree. We might be able to guess what goes in here. They're these big, sort of shaded trees. Kind of have a distinct leaf, sort of, kind of. I don't know. I don't know a lot about trees. Yeah, they kind of have leaves. Kind of look like this. And they're usually really big. They can get really, really, really big. Here's this really, really big tree. I'm not 100% sure if these are all, like, everywhere. But I think, you know, you can find these in Europe and things like that. Yes. Fun. There are also ones in Asia. Yeah, so they're pretty common all over the place. Yeah, an elm tree. So an elm. And shade is that area sort of under the tree where there isn't sun, right? So you might sit in the shade when it's hot to get out of the sun. Basically, sit where there's shadow, so you're out of the sun, basically. Shade is the shadow, so you sit in the shade. That's what it means. Kind of protect yourself from the sun. What else do we have here? I don't know what that is. Plates. I think maybe we can get this one. If you look forward to something, look forward to doing something, you have something maybe in the future that you want to do, right? Right? But in the meantime, you have to kind of pass the time, right? We're kind of looking for a verb that describes passing the time before something happens. Yeah. And I know that this is a little, because there's kind of a slightly related, more common verb that we might use for this. But basically, a verb we would use when to describe, you know, passing time before something happens. You know, you would kind of like hang on, maybe. I'm trying to describe it without using obvious words. But yeah, basically a verb, you know, before something. So like, for example, you know, you have an appointment, you go to the doctor's. Yeah, you kill time. Yeah, basically. Yeah, kind of, you would kill time. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, you would, if you had an appointment, right, you would go, you would maybe hang out in that room, right? You would pass the time before your appointment. Yeah, it's funny. Let's see. This is like a similar word. So basically, yeah, there's a very similar related word. Here's the official definition: to allow time to go by, especially while staying in one place without doing much. So that is kind of one. This is a similar word that's slightly a little bit different. Yeah, this is a tricky one to. This is a tricky one to kind of just describe. So okay, so if you are passing that time right before something, you would wait for something to happen, right? So to wait for something to happen. So that kind of means like to stay in one place, wait, wait for it to happen. And then if you're looking forward to something, like you really want to do it, there's a similar word, which is await. So if you, yeah, which also kind of means to wait for something to happen in the future. Also means. So the difference between to await something versus like to wait for something is that this is more like it's right before you're kind of hanging out, just expecting for it to happen, right? So you are staying prepared on site, waiting for it to happen. Whereas you can await something, it's a little bit more general, like maybe something will happen 6 months in the future and you're just kind of like you're just kind of waiting for it to happen. So this is wait for something is a little more immediate. Whereas a wait can be used a bit more generally. And you're just basically expecting something to happen in the future. Kind of. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, a little bit of a difference. So this is going to be a wait. So yeah, that was a tricky one. Taters. What's this one? Where is that tater one? Oh, this one is. This is a synonym. So a tater, kind of an informal way to refer to a vegetable. Here is like a cooked tater. I don't know if you've seen these before, but these are taters. This is a type of vegetable that has been sort of like made and cooked this way. They're made from potatoes, right? So we're looking for another word, basically. Here. Another word for potato, basically. Let's get rid of the S here. We're looking for another word for potato. Kind of a slang word. Kind of wondering how many other synonyms. Tuber. Kind of a slang word for potato. Starts with an S. I'll put that in here. So it's going to start with an S. Chips. Chips, also a type of potato. Yep, that's definitely a style of potato. Not our answer, though. But yeah. This one is gonna be spud. People also call potatoes spuds. So I'm gonna put that in here. There we go. I got some spuds. For cool. Got and I think we can do this one, this buff. So to buff kind of means to kind of means that you make something I mean a couple different things. It kind of means to polish. So to buff something means to polish something by rubbing it, usually. Okay, so you would polish something by rubbing it. And you do this a lot to shoes. You do this a lot to shoes. You make them kind of look a lot better by rubbing. You know, you would rub them with some shoe polish, right? But you would then rub it and they become really, really, like, they reflect the light and everything like that. Come a little bit nicer looking. So we're basically looking for a word for, yeah, S something something N something, basically. Yeah. Where it sort of has that brightness, reflects the light. And we would say this, that you do this to shoes. To something, 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 a shoe. Maybe we don't do it so much these days. Although if you have really nice leather shoes, like these, for example, you might do it. Or you would take them to a place and they would get people to do it for you. I see these people offering the service in airports and things like that, you know, where business people travel through. So you would shine. We're gonna shine a shoe. Where's shine? We're gonna shine a shoe. So buffs means to shine. Buff something, shine it, shine something. And buff is that motion of, yeah, so awesome. All right, tricky words. Bridge, forerunner. This is a game. We can do this one though. So question of time. We want a question word that we use for asking about the time. Basically. So something. Yeah, so way more common in the olden days, right? These days, I don't know a lot of people who are shining their shoes. I think it's more common for business people, or maybe people in the army and things like that. I only see shoe shiners at the airports and things like that. Yeah, so this one's gonna be when. Put in when. So we have when here. Awesome. And what else can we do here? Oh, we're not gonna get this. I know, but we're not gonna get this either. Let's do this one maybe. This bakery buys. So something we can, so things, so plural. There we go. Things we can buy in a bakery. Something. Tea. We can buy this in a bakery. So a place where they make things to eat, right? But we can see that the word bread doesn't fit here. Right? But usually we get bread, you know, loaves of bread at the bakery. I notice here too that, you know, loaves is the plural of loaf, a loaf of bread. But there are other things you could get at a bakery too. So let's maybe brainstorm some things you could get at a bakery. Like loaves of bread. And I'm gonna get a picture of what I think this answer is. So you can get loaves of bread. Loaves of bread. You can also get buns, right? You can get buns at a bakery. So you could get little buns. Those are like mini little breads, loaves of bread. Some buns. You got buns. Pies also, you could get pies, right? And there is this type of thing. It's almost like a mini pie. Like a miniature pie that you can buy. Oh, you're so close, yeah. It is written so. So super close. So here's a pie. Pie are typically large, and then there's the small ones. So you can see the pie has the crust on it, right? We talked, I think, like last week about how pies have crusts on them. And then we have these guys. That don't have a crust on them, and maybe they are filled with fruit or something like that. And this is a tart. I think tart is gonna be our word here. Tart. Awesome. Yeah, so we have tarts you could also get at a bakery. Some messages. So I know usually if there's an S here, there's an S here. We're not gonna put an S here. But there's a specific type of electronic communication that I think is this answer. So we have something. Why? Something. So this is a type of electronic communication where you would get where you would get a message, right? So you know, there's tweets, right? Tweets or text messages, texts. Obviously, text doesn't fit, but kind of something like that. Maybe you know, there's DMs as well too. Maybe a direct message, a DM. Yeah, I think this is gonna be email. Email is a type. Some messages are emails. So there we go. Let's put that there. This is lamb's done. Lamb's dam. I think this is the name of a. No, let's do this one. This will be easier. So usually if something relates to one another, it has something in common, right? Relates to something else. It has something in common with that other thing. So maybe they share a characteristic, or maybe they are part of the same family, something like that. But this is a different use of the word relate. So this is a different word, a different one, a different use. So we have, it's got to be a verb to something. And we would say to relate a message. To relate a message. So basically, to communicate a message to somebody. Relate a message. To communicate something to someone. Basically, maybe pass on a message. So this word is something about communication. Yeah, usually would maybe like relate information. Or maybe a story, I suppose, too. Kind of a very formal word to basically say, yeah, this is going to be tell. You would tell information to somebody else, or you would relate information to somebody else. So that is what that's going to be. So that is going to be that. So there we go. Got tells. Awesome. And I wonder if we can get this one to look at. Gonna be tricky-ish, maybe. Maybe we can do this one. There's kind of a name. So an informer is somebody who tells something. Basically somebody who tells about something secret, usually, right? Like maybe they inform somebody about a crime, for example, something like that. But yeah, kind of sort of like a, not quite like a spy or something, but they're not like loyal basically to whatever they are telling things about. They're revealing information that shouldn't be revealed, and they're basically doing it to they're basically doing it because maybe there's a crime or something like that. This is kind of a tricky one. Yeah, so this one's gonna be rat. This is gonna be rat, exactly. So you would, as a rat, you would rat somebody out, exactly. All right, awesome. Yeah, and I think maybe now we have enough information, we could maybe get this one, but this one's a little, I feel that this is a little bit tricky vibe. This kind of has to do with like how you look at something. Cause like, you know, to look at something, I know like literally means to see something, right? But we can also say that you kind of look at someone as in kind of you have an opinion, or you kind of look sort of carefully at somebody. I don't think that makes sense though. Yeah, tricky. Something. If it helps, this one, this lamb's dam, is basically the name of a lamb's mother. So the name of a female sheep, basically, is what that is going to be. And we have this one here too. Kind of like, I don't know how to explain. Usually we would use this word if we're talking about how, like, the type of opinion you have about somebody. Yeah, so usually maybe the type of opinion you have about something, like how you look at them, how you perceive them, if that makes sense. So, yeah. So tricky ones. So we have this lamb. Yeah, some tricky ones here. So, yeah, so regard. Yeah, what a tricky. This guy thought it was a tricky one. Yeah, so this is gonna be regard. The in a female sheep is called an ewe, an ewe. Is that right? Did I say that right? A ewe. Ewe. Yeah, a ewe. Sorry. So this is a ewe. So many tricky words to describe. And I don't think we're gonna get this one. I don't think we're gonna get any of these ones. This naturalness, describes doing something. This word describes doing something almost like effortlessly. Oh yeah, that would have been a good one. Yeah, to consider something. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I was thrown off, like having to describe, you like to look at something. But yes, how you consider something. That would have been a good hint too. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that would have been a good hint. Okay, let's do one more. This word describes basically doing something effortlessly. You say like naturalness, but like basically like it's, you know, you don't even have to try, right? Yeah, ease. You do something with ease. All right. And then this, I think, is a reference. Bridge is a card game. I don't know a lot about it. But Bridge is a card game. It's a card game. And I don't know. Maybe this is like an R or something. I don't know. I don't know these other ones, but I think that we learned a bunch of interesting things. I think this is also like, I think this is supposed to be like induced though. I don't know this word. So apparently educe is to retrieve information. Basically to retrieve information. I don't really know that word. I'm more familiar with the word to induce, which is it educe? Oh, maybe it is educe. Anyways, I don't know this word. And I think this might be like monarchia, but I don't. And this herb is like, I think sweet pea. But anyways, yeah, tricky one. I'm gonna like look really quickly what a sweet pea is. I've never eaten sweet pea, but I guess it looks like this. These are some sweet peas. I don't know what this is. Somebody's name. But anyways, so there you go. What letter would you guess goes here? Give me a letter, and I'll put it in. We'll see if we're good or not. Give me a letter. Let's see. I guess I could Google bridge forerunner. That must be like the first person to go when playing bridge. I don't know. I guess we can maybe like anyways. Yeah. We're close, but yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, this is the G. But yeah, I have no idea. Anyways, thank you for playing. Great job. This was not an easy one today. But I think we did pretty good. We reviewed a lot of interesting things. I will be back tomorrow with another crossword. So, you know, if you like this, feel free to share it to your favorite Facebook group and things like that, or talk it up online. More people would be really, 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 really great. I've also been trying to get more people on board. Anyways, I hope you all have a really fantastic day. Thanks so much for playing. Really appreciate it. And I will see you all next time. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I can say. I'm doing a article reading on Sunday at this time, I believe. So that is something that's coming up. I'm reading an article about ethical influencers, which should be interesting with some great vocabulary and things like that. So that is coming up, but tomorrow I will also be doing another crossword. So anyways, thank you so much, everybody. I hope you have a really fantastic day. And I will see you all next time. All right, bye.